Star Trek theory. If this character didn't turn traitor, they'd be first officer of Kirk's Enterprise replacement. When it comes to Star Trek, few things sting quite like the betrayals from characters who once carried limitless potential. Across the franchise, we've seen brilliant officers fall from grace, sometimes due to ambition, ideology, or personal flaws. But one traitor in particular stands out as a fascinating what-if case. If circumstances had played out differently, if ambition hadn't outweighed loyalty, this character may very well have secured one of the most prestigious roles in Starfleet history, first officer of the Enterprise's next great crew after Captain Kirk. That character? Gary Mitchell from Star Trek, the original series. The golden boy of Starfleet. Before his fateful turn in, where no man has gone before, Gary Mitchell wasn't just another officer. He was a decorated Starfleet lieutenant commander with deep roots in the organization and a reputation for brilliance. He had a long-standing friendship with James T. Kirk that stretched back to their academy days. In many ways, he was Kirk's equal, confident, charismatic, and quick on his feet. Had Mitchell continued to rise through the ranks without the interference of the galactic barrier incident, his trajectory seemed destined for greatness. Starfleet admired officers who were both capable and adaptable. Mitchell checked both boxes, and then some. His intelligence and decisive leadership made him a prime candidate for command roles. And unlike Spock, whose Vulcan discipline often clashed with human emotion, Mitchell carried an easy charm that made him both approachable and inspiring to his peers. In other words, he was exactly the kind of officer Starfleet would have considered for the Enterprise's bridge in a post-Kirk era. The road not taken. The tragedy of Mitchell's arc lies in timing. Where no man has gone before happens at the very start of Kirk's 5-year mission. At that point, Mitchell was still a trusted officer, even serving as helmsman and trusted advisor. When the galactic barrier imbued him with godlike powers, it wasn't some deep-rooted villainy that caused his fall, it was the corruption of unchecked power. Had that fateful mission been delayed, had Kirk chosen another crew member to accompany him, Mitchell's story might have been radically different. He could have continued on as a loyal bridge officer, slowly building his reputation in Starfleet. By the time Kirk's legendary mission was winding down, Mitchell might have been one of the top candidates to become first officer of the next Enterprise assignment. In fact, it's easy to imagine Starfleet considering Mitchell as a natural successor to Kirk's legacy, someone who understood the captain personally, who shared his boldness and drive, and who could keep the crew bonded in the uncertain years to come. The perfect counterbalance. One of the most intriguing aspects of this theory is how Mitchell could have functioned as a counterbalance to Spock. While Spock brought cold logic and science-driven leadership to the bridge, Mitchell represented instinct, charisma, and raw humanity. Together, they would have created a bridge dynamic very different from the Kirk-Spock-McCoy triad we know, but no less compelling. Mitchell as first officer would have allowed Kirk to lean into his tactical instincts while relying on Mitchell to maintain morale and offer a more human perspective. In essence, Mitchell could have been the crew's emotional anchor, something Spock never could fully embody. It's not hard to imagine him mediating disputes, inspiring younger officers, or even clashing with Kirk in ways that sharpen the captain's decision-making. That's the kind of role a first officer is meant to play. A partner who challenges and supports in equal measure. A glimpse of what could have been. Ironically, Mitchell's brief moments of loyalty and friendship in Where No Man Has Gone Before give us hints of this alternate timeline. Even as his powers grew, there were flickers of his old self, his camaraderie with Kirk, his wit, and his ability to rally others around him. For a brief period, the crew still trusted him, and Kirk still hesitated to turn on him. Those qualities didn't vanish when he gained powers. They were twisted. Strip away the corruption, and what remains is an officer who embodied everything Starfleet valued. This is why Mitchell's betrayal still resonates, because it wasn't inevitable. It was contingent on a bizarre accident of cosmic energy. Without that spark of tragedy, he would have been remembered not as a cautionary tale but as a shining example of Starfleet leadership. The legacy that never was. Star Trek has often explored themes of destiny, choice, and the fine line between greatness and ruin. Mitchell's arc is one of the franchise's earliest and most striking,